Okay, in this video, we are talking about hair mistakes that age you faster. And I'm actually really excited about this video because I'm going to do something that, well, I haven't done in any of my other videos.
In this video, I'm going to show you a photo of a woman, and we're going to talk about some of the concerns
that she's having or some of the issues that are going on with her hair that unfortunately are aging her. And more importantly, I'm going to tell you how you can address those issues. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to show you different styles that she could do with her hair that would address those issues. Yes, all of that stuff. And this video is sponsored by Skillshare. Thank you, Skillshare, but we'll be talking more about them here in a little bit. So for now, let's talk about some hair mistakes. All right. Oh, and if you're new to me, you're probably wondering, who is this guy? Why is he out in the middle of the woods talking about hair? My name is Justin Hickox. I've been doing hair for 26 years. I've owned my own salon for a little over 20 years. And yeah, I prefer not sitting in front of a ring light at the salon. I prefer taking you out and showing you cool views while I talk to you about hair. So that's what I do, and that's who I am. All right, now back to the mistakes, the better stuff. Anyway, the first mistake that I'm seeing is the length in the front layering. And the reason that this is a problem is because she's already got thick hair. Now that layer happens to land right about in her chin, which creates more bulk on the sides just below her cheeks that emphasizes more roundness in her face. That layer hitting right there is adding more width, but most importantly of all of that, it's adding width while bringing the eye down. You'll notice a theme amongst most of my videos about looking more youthful, that a lot of it is about vibrancy. It's about lifting the eye up, not just the person looking at you, but also as in general, lifting your face up, lifting everything up, and making people look more awake and vibrant and alive. In this scenario, it brings your focus, looking at her, down the face, brings more focus to her chin, brings more width to her face. So that's the first mistake I see. Okay, now the second mistake I see kind of piggybacks off of that first mistake. Well, it compounds the first mistake. And that is that there's just a bit too much bend at the very end of that front layer. Now, what you'll notice is from the root through the mid shaft, there's not a lot of bend in that overall layering. And then when you get to the very end, it kind of bends in a little bit more dramatic. Now, what we ultimately want is a nice bend from roots all the way to end. That's how we create overall volume and ends up creating shape. When I say shape, shape is about having volume in the right areas so that we accentuate things about our face shape that we want to accentuate. Now, the next mistake I see is actually too long of layers or not having layers in the back or internally. Adding more width to the sides, which again brings the overall shape down, brings the eye down, and pulls the face down. Adding some layering in the back will not just help give the shape more movement, but it'll also remove some of the volume from the sides of her hair, which will in turn help create the illusion of more volume on the top. Which brings us to mistake number 4, which is not enough volume on the top. Again, hair is an optical illusion. So the more volume we have on the sides, the less it's going to appear that we have on the top. In a situation like this where we want to lift everything up and we want to elongate the face versus add more width, we definitely want to pay attention to creating more volume on the top. And by the way, I'm going to take you to another place so that we can enjoy another view while I talk about options. But that view doesn't suck. Just saying. Okay, can we take a quick second just to talk about that? Yeah. That does not suck at all. I can't even show you that whole waterfall because it's so massive. Beautiful. Okay, and this is the perfect spot to jump in here real quick and talk about Skillshare, the sponsor of this video. I am a huge fan. Now, if you're unfamiliar with what Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for creators. It's like the best place to explore new skills, deepen existing passions, or just flat out get lost in creativity altogether. Now, one of my favorite things about it is the fact that it's actually curated for learning. That means that there's 0 ads. So you can stay 100% focused and follow wherever your creativity is taking you. And they're always launching new premium classes. I know you see a lot of these ads on stuff, right? You see a lot of creators talking about this kind of stuff and you're probably thinking, do they even actually use these services they talk about? Yes, is the simple answer. I absolutely use Skillshare. In fact, right now I'm learning how to tell a quicker story because I tell long stories. Because I talk a lot. So we both know how important it is that I learn this skill set, right? But hey, maybe that's not important to you. Maybe you're more interested in cookie decorating, which if you are, please let me know. Bake some cookies and send them my way. I'm a huge fan of cookies. Or maybe you want to learn about plants in your house. But the point is, there are tons of things to learn on this platform, and I sincerely, absolutely love it. So if you want to join us and check this out, go ahead and use the link in the description below. Skillshare has been nice enough to give the first 1,000 people that click on that link a free trial premium membership. So yeah, that's a huge deal. Now let's jump into some pictures and take a look at some options for some styles that would work for this beautiful young lady. Now, keep in mind that when I show you these styles, I'm not saying that these are the only things that will work for her. I'm simply saying that these are a couple of options that will work and will address all of the concerns that you're seeing, as well as we're going to hit on color. So yes, let's dive into some photos. Okay, so the first shape that I would love for her is the bob shape. Now, one of the reasons that I love bobs is because there's always one version of a bob or a couple of versions of a bob that are in style. They're timeless. There's just nothing more to that. But they also have a really good way of being very versatile. You can simply dress funky and they're going to look funky, or you can dress very corporate America and they're going to look very polished. It really is up to you, even if you style them the same way. They also grow out really well, but for her specifically, this shape really kind of lends itself to everything that we were talking about during the mistakes. Leaving that length in the front a little bit longer than the chin is going to help to elongate the face and offset that bit of roundness in her face shape. If you also notice, there's more volume on top and through the temples in the bob versus having more volume down around the cheeks. Creating more volume on the top is not only going to compound that elongation and alleviate some more of that fullness in the face, but it's also going to help lift the face shape up, lift the eye up, and overall create a bit more of a youthful feel. The other thing I like about this shape is if you notice, there's the appropriate amount of bend from the roots through the midshaft and through the end. So it's a bit more of kind of a C shape. It's got a nice polish to the ends. It's going to have some great movement to the overall shape and a bit more of a youthful and fun overall look. So for me, this whole shape is a win. But you might be asking, well, what if she wanted to go shorter? What if she didn't want a bob? What if she wanted to do something totally different? Don't worry, I got you covered. Okay, so I actually love the idea of her going short. And part of the reason that I wanted to throw this out here as an option is because I hear a lot of people say, if there's any roundness to my face, I can't go short. And I completely disagree with that mindset. I absolutely believe that regardless of your face being round or full or whatever, you can definitely go short. Again, it's just a matter of where we put the volume. So with hers, I lent towards something a bit more on the edgy kind of wild side, if you will. And the reason that I chose this, I love mixing a bit of yin and yang. I like the balance. So I like an organized mess. I like having something that is potentially a little bit more conservative. Gray hair can lend itself to looking a bit more conservative, but throwing in a haircut that is very much not conservative, because I feel that the two of those things balance out each other very well and can give it a very youthful edge. So for her, I chose something that I absolutely think that she could wear, and it fits in line with all of our concerns and all of the mistakes that we were talking about earlier. So let me explain that. If you look at this shape, you're going to notice the sides are very short, and that's going to help to take some of that fullness out of the sides of the face. That combined, especially with the volume that you've got on the top, you're in a situation where the eye is directed up. It lifts everything up. It's accentuating cheek structure versus, again, just cheeks. All of those things are adding to more life and vibrancy and therefore creating a bit more of a youthful look. Now, notice that I didn't say that it's solely the fact that it's an edgy haircut giving it a youthful look. It's the way that haircut is shaped that's creating that youthful feel. That little bit of edge is basically the icing on the cake. It's not the cake itself. Does that make sense? I don't know if cake was a good reference, but you get my point. Maybe I'm hungry. I don't know. Probably. I just hiked up this hill. Okay. So I said we were going to talk about color. Let's talk a little bit about color. Here's the thing. I don't think coloring her hair is going to inherently make her look more youthful. Again, because I said, I don't think there's a problem with the idea that it's gray. And in fact, I think if you mix, like I said before, a very fun and kind of a little bit more edgy cut with that gray, it would do a lot to actually add a very strong, youthful edge that still has a lot of polish. So to me, I don't think at all that she should cover up the gray. But nonetheless, like I said before, there are options. What she could do is add a little bit of a low light to it. So add some pepper back into that salt and pepper. And what she's going to find with that is that it's going to give it a bit more dimension and a little bit more of a pop. So that white is going to stand out and look a little bit brighter and more vibrant. But most importantly, it's going to add a bit more richness even to her skin tone. Now, dimension, movement, texture, richness in the skin tone, all of those things do lend a little bit more to a youthful feel. But they, again, small difference, huge impact. Okay, so that is it. Thank you for hanging out this long. And if you have hung out this long, then make sure you hit that subscribe button right now so you don't miss every week when I bring out brand new videos. And watch this video right here because you're going to learn some more stuff. It'll be good stuff. Promise. We will see you in the next video. Take care now. Bye.